Hey, everybody, it's me, Jane Bond, and I want to welcome you back to another great episode of Unpack Your Life. And today I have with me Jay Fields. Well, fully Jay Moon Fields. I love Moon too.
That's actually my husband's last name. I made it my middle name. That's a whole other
Oh, I love it. I love
thing.
it. Well, we're talking to Jay Moon Fields, and guys, this is someone I really want you to tune into. This woman spoke to my heart. And I want to say to you that when I read certain things that she had written, and I also listened to your three clips, which I thought was powerful and very impactful, I was just completely moved by her authenticity and the way she lives her life and the way she teaches others to live. And I'm going to let her tell you more about herself. Guys, here's Jay Moon. Talk to her. Jay Moon Fields.
You know what? I love Jay Moon.
Okay.
Thank you, Jane, for having me here. I am so thrilled to have this conversation. And yeah, I mean, I'm a somatic coach, which doesn't mean much to anybody, but the idea behind somatic means I'm helping people address their body, leverage the intelligence of their body and their nervous system in order to, in my particular case, have a good experience of yourself in your relationships. Because you and I were talking beforehand that the people that I work with, who are me, right, are
Okay.
people who have gotten success. They have the life from the outside looking in that everyone's going, wow, that person has got it. But on the inside, it doesn't feel good. And in particular, it doesn't feel good when they're around other people. And it could be their family, it could be their colleagues, it could be their partner, it could be their kid, it could be all of those things. But it's this idea that if I'm alone, I'm good. I'm in
Mhm.
control of my world. I can be
I get
whoever I
that.
need to be. And the rub is, for the people I work with, relationships are the number one thing. Authenticity is super important, and
So
they
important.
don't know how to do it because where the F have we ever learned it?
Oh, God, trust me. I did a post today. I don't know if you saw it, but I did a post and I talked about authenticity. And I said, authenticity is not a strategy, it
Yeah.
is your superpower. Show up as yourself or don't show up at all. And that
Boom.
is so true
But
because,
yeah, but how do you do that? That's the thing.
exactly,
That's what it says
that's
on my website. It's yeah, everybody's like, be yourself, whatever. But how do I do that? Because that's what we don't get taught that. We can see it, right? Like I can see your post and go, oh, that woman has it.
right.
But that's
But
a
that
lot.
woman might not have it.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Sometimes we say things, they resonate with us, but do we practice it ourselves?
And I think you can feel it. And I think I talk about that a lot in my work because my work is embodiment. And embodiment is different than mindfulness, right?
Absolutely.
Embodiment is you can be grounded and calm and centered with your eyes open in a conversation with someone, as opposed to mindfulness, which we tend to think of as I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to be locked away in a room by myself, and I'm going to gather myself. That's a great skill, but it's a lot more, you can transfer it, but it's a lot more easy to go straight to the heart of the matter, which is start practicing to be embodied around other people. And what I was going to say to that point about authenticity is authenticity has a resonance to it. Like you can feel someone,
That's
as
right.
opposed to someone can say the words and it's like they're coming from here versus you can feel when they're coming from here.
It's that energy, I believe. I think the energy that we give off really resonates with people from the heart. I get a lot of people I meet, and it could be because I'm at an event or something, I just happen to show up somewhere and I'll speak to someone and then they'll come back to me and go, I love your energy. It's all positive. And I haven't really even talked to them. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought, well, my God, thank you. I'm exuding something that I don't even realize that's around because sometimes I'm doubting that within myself, even though
Yeah.
I know I'm a very positive speaking person. I have a lot of empathy, and that's something we're going to talk about because there's not a lot of that in the world today. You did
Mm-hmm.
state that. in one of your clips, you said, we don't need any more geniuses and, people that think they know everything. What we need is more empathy. And in our climate today, in this
Yeah.
country, that has gone out of the window. I mean, we see, and of course, social media, we see something on Instagram, that's where we're getting our news from. I mean, there's not even any traditional news anymore. The Dan Rathers and the Peter Jennings and all of them are gone. Those are the people we used to trust, right? And they had empathy even when they
Yeah.
delivered the news.
Yeah.
Today, it seems like empathy is just something we say. It's not something we feel anymore. And
Mm-hmm.
I am extremely empathetic to a
Mm-hmm.
lot of things across the board. Even
Mm-hmm.
my situation that I just went through and I shared with you. Yes, it's
Mm-hmm.
only been a good 9-10 months,
Yeah.
but I lost myself in what people thought and looked like success. And that looks different to everybody. And
Yeah.
we'll go into that
Yeah.
later also.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is so true. And we have to get back to normalcy.
Yeah. Well,
We're
I
not
was
there.
laughing at your social media and the news thing because we were talking beforehand how I have not been on social media. I've kind of been behind the scenes doing this work for a long time. And Mr. Moon, who I married, is in his mid 60s, and we watch Lester Holt every night.
Oh, I know, right?
Like, I
Right.
don't look at social media. I do watch Lester Holt, and and he always ends the newscast with his sign off is "Take care of yourself and each other," and like
That's
that's
right.
that old school. I'm
It
going to
is.
deliver the news in a way that's like you're a person and you're living in this world, and I'm in it with you, and let's be here. And so I that's why I was laughing. And you were talking about exuding an energy. And for me, I just want to reflect back to you when just sitting here, and we've never met before, but what I
Right.
experience with you is that I can feel you with me, but I don't feel you on me. And
I
I
love
nor do I feel you pulled back. And I think that's what we're used to feeling in relationship with people. We're either feeling like they're like coming out of themselves into trying to manipulate or control or perform, be liked,
Yes.
whatever it is,
Yes.
or they're withdrawn and like behind a wall, and you can't get there. And I think that piece that's what I feel in you is like the ability to like you're here with me, you have your reality, I have my reality, you can feel me, but you're not trying to fix me. You're not
No,
trying to figure me out. Like
no,
that feels different. And that does require empathy for someone else, but it also requires empathy for yourself because that
absolutely.
capacity to be felt starts from being able to feel yourself.
And that's what I loved about you talking about embodiment, understanding your nervous system, because that's the part that is reactionary.
Yeah.
That's the part where something happens and you were talking about, the other half, your spouse saying he's going to bring his mother-in-law, his mother to your home for 6 months. And you were like, well, wait a minute. Shit, you didn't say anything
Oh,
to
thank
me,
God that
buddy.
wasn't me. That was a client. That's not
No, I
me
know
because I
exactly.
would
Yeah. And I said to myself, if that happened to me in my situation, I probably would have just unloaded. But she's right. You take that on and you say to yourself, well, did you even consider me when you made that decision? Because if you dismiss me in making that decision, of course it's going to cause a reaction
yeah.
from me. But to stop and think, and this takes me back to another conversation I had with someone. You have to come from a place of love, and that's where the empathy comes into play.
Yeah.
When you're having those hard conversations, and that's not a hard conversation. That's kind of like a argument. It's like, wait a minute, you should have told me that shit. You should have never told
But
me she was
right, but it could turn into a hard conversation
right,
if you're coming into it hot like that.
right,
Yeah.
right, hot
And
off the press with what you just told me.
yeah.
But coming from a place of love and empathy, it's a different conversation. And like you said, you turn it around. The verbiage is different. It's you didn't consider me, or I'm disappointed that you didn't consider me because I am your other half, and these are the things we sit down and
Right.
we have conversations about.
And look,
So all
this
of that resonated with me so well.
well, you get it. You totally get it. And here's the thing. I really think that at the heart of all of this is consideration. I know we've been talking about empathy and embodiment and all of that, but like in this current climate, this is what I think is missing. And the people who are built like us, who are really highly empathic, tend to get into a really bad pattern of expecting that other people won't consider them. It's
Right.
like, I'm going to consider you and consider you and consider you and consider you, and I'm going to be such a good girl at it that you're going to eventually consider me. Well, that's not how it works, and clearly we can see that right now in how people are treating one another, right? Like,
Yes.
so
Yes.
what I want the people out there who are listening to hear, if you've been one of those people like I was, that it's like, empathy is my superpower, and I'm going to make you feel really seen and heard and understood, but I'm going to kind of like just not expect anything from you, because this is the time where that ends. Like, this is where we need to have tools for how to ask to be considered in a way
Mhm.
that's in alignment with our value, which is caring for people.
Absolutely. And having a moral compass,
Yeah.
that's kind of gone out the window also, in this climate, which it breaks my heart too when I think about things, because I'm the first person to stand up and say, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's look at
Mm-hmm.
this differently. Let's turn this
Mm-hmm.
around. What would you do if you were in this position? Do
Mm-hmm.
not react, Jane. I just had a situation, and I guess that's why you resonated with me so much. I went to speak to someone about something, and I know my track record, and this is in my business, and I know who I am, and I know what I can do. I do it with my eyes closed. And I'm in the real estate business,
Yes.
so emotional intelligence come into play a lot in our field.
Yes.
And someone said something to me, and my first reaction was, well, if it's not going to happen, guess what? It's fine. I don't need to do this. When I left there, I thought, you didn't even think. You didn't even take it in.
Mm.
That is not how you feel. That was your reaction. That was that nervous, you're talking
Yeah.
about that,
Yeah.
you know, not really thinking about what I was doing. Emotionally, I got completely out of the box.
Yep.
When after I thought about it, I thought, well, that's not so bad. Why were you so irrational? And why did you jump up and say no? So I found myself going back to
Yep.
make that phone call to say, I had a moment to think about things. And this is how I feel about this.
So
And guess
good.
what? It all worked out.
Well, that's that piece. You had a moment to think about things, to feel into, like, where did that come from? And
Exactly.
that moment, we need to learn how to buy ourselves that more often. And the
Exactly.
tool that I use with people is the hey wait.
I love Hey Wait. Okay.
I hear you. So in that thing, I'm like, well, there's an opportunity. You said hey wait to yourself as you left. You went, hey
Right.
wait, I didn't feel good about that. Why did I jump at that? And you paused and you reflected, and then you made the repair. But there's also the opportunity in which the person says this thing to you, and you're tracking yourself enough to go, like, I'm about to shut something down, or I'm about to rush into
Right.
something, because
Right.
those are kind of like the jumping,
Mhm.
or the like. And if you ever find yourself doing that, you just say, hey wait, I need to think about that one for a moment. And I believe you probably could have gotten there.
Right.
Maybe,
I,
and
I'm,
maybe
I'm
not.
sure I could have. I'm
Maybe
sure.
not. And it doesn't even matter if you did, because it does, like, all of these moments where we're really trying to show up authentically and fully and relationally and emotionally intelligent. It doesn't matter if we can do it perfectly each time. What matters is that we make the repair if we needed it. What matters
And you
is when
work
that
on it.
fabric gets pulled and stretched, we go back and go, ooh, that probably felt off to you because it was off to me.
Oh, it definitely did. Because I reacted immediately, made phone calls, and then I thought about it and I sat there and I went, what were you thinking about?
Yeah.
It's not so bad. It's
Yeah.
something you can utilize.
Well, I
It's
mean,
actually more advantageous for you.
that's the tricky part, is you weren't thinking about it because you're a human being. That's the nervous system piece, right? Like, that's
Right.
that unconscious, something about what they said felt like a threat, or felt
Wrong.
unfamiliar, or felt, and like, boom, there's that gut reaction, fight, flight, freeze. And and it doesn't necessarily look huge. It might just look like you say something like what you did, where it's just a little bit off, a little bit too short, A little
And
bit.
a little ego. I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and say it
Yeah.
was. And it was a little ego for me. And I thought, you got to throw all that out the window, Jane, because that
Yeah.
doesn't even matter, you know. Um, well, the interesting thing is, I did fix it.
Hmm.
And I was proud of myself after reading Hey Wait. And I said,
Hmm.
you're a work in progress no matter what, because you're dealing with all these things that you're untangling that was in your life. Because when I unpacked, when I tell you I brought the house down, I brought the house down. I couldn't take it anymore. And I'll share with you a little bit about it. I was an imposter, the imposter syndrome. And I realized that I was being something for someone else. And I really had to get back to being Jane. And
Hmm.
I looked in the mirror one day, and I used to have a picture next to, um, on my dressing table, where I could look at the picture and look in the mirror. And it was me when I was 19 years old, and I was in college, and I was here in New York at
Is
Pace
that the
University.
picture of you with your, you kind of have your,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Oh my,
yeah.
thank you.
I
And I
saw
was,
that picture.
yeah, I was there, and I kept looking at that picture going, where is that girl? Where's that smile? And I kept smiling, and I kept saying, that's not her. How can I find her? And then I said, I miss her. And that's when the work started. That's when I started saying, you know what? I need to find her, because that girl had dreams, had, feeling, had understanding, and was ready to take on the world.
Yeah.
This girl has taken on the world, but she lost herself,
Yeah.
and when it comes to success, and I've asked that question, success looks different to everybody. But what true success is, we don't strive for. No, I'm not going to say we, all of us, but most of us. It's the baubles, it's the shiny things, it's the
Yeah.
things that we think, keeping up with the Joneses. But the true success is figuring out and finding out who you really are and what you have to give to the world.
Yeah.
And not everybody can figure that out or find that out, because we're all afraid, you know. And another thing you said, and I love what you said. You said, now I can go back and take care of that little scared person inside of me, and talk to that little girl and tell her that it's going to be all right. We're going
Yeah.
to take care of this.
Right. And
When
like,
I tell
I'm here
you,
for you.
yeah, I'm here for you,
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And that's a journey to get to. And I listen, trust me, when I tell you I love you.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I feel it. And you've clearly, like you've been saying, you've been on the journey, because what you just described was the journey of integration. And I think, the integrating your 19-year-old self who had it and lost it. And including for me, like integrating the little girl who had it but got scared really young and hid it away, right? Like I think the journey of success is one of, I actually have never said it this way, but it's like I think so many of us, particularly women, get to quote unquote success by leaving aspects of ourselves out,
Yes,
by being the ones that are acceptable. And that real success is circling back around and gathering all of those parts that we shoved away, said, you wait back here, and bringing them forward so that the wholeness in us is what is
yes,
leading.
yes.
And that's
I
what you're
found
doing.
that. Yes, you're absolutely right, because I found that once I unpacked, I found what true success meant to me, and that was being with family.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been traveling my whole life trying to figure out who I am and what I want. And as an adult and as a mature woman now, like I said, in halftime, I believe I figured it out. I know what I want. I know what I want to say, and I'm saying it without being afraid.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, and let's go back to social media. In the beginning, it was all about real estate, landing my first $1 million listing,
Mm-hmm.
becoming this top agent in my market. All of that meant everything to me, because I had just showed up there and I didn't know what else to do. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go hard, and
Yeah.
I'm going to leave everything behind. because success means climbing and not looking back.
Yeah.
But the thing about climbing is you always have to look back down at that ladder you came up at, because
Yeah.
all those people are down there. And no matter what happens, if you happen to travel back down there and become unsuccessful, they're there waiting.
Right.
You can't forget
And
them
you,
on the
right,
climb,
right.
right?
And you better have a good relationship with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you
Yeah.
don't burn the bridge that way.
Yeah. I had a kind of an opposite story in that my 20s, I really went deep into my spiritual practice. I really went into minimalism. I stepped away from all sorts of external validation and all of that. And I really studied deeply and I did the work. I mean, I kind of had my first major unpacking when I was 23. And I got married when I was 21, which is bananas when I think of it now. And
Bananas.
totally bananas. And that marriage ended 2 years later after I had an affair, which was like the absolute last thing in the world that I thought me as a good girl would do. Like I didn't see it coming. And at 23 years old, I looked around at the pain that I had caused to my family, to his family, to him, and I thought, I got to figure out how I got here because this isn't
How the
me,
hell to get out of there?
and how to get out of there, and how. So, like, I really went deep in my 20s and early 30s, and then in my mid 30s was like, I got to make some money. Like,
Yeah,
right, like, and
that
so
helps.
then I went for the financial success and the worldly success, and I started making the LinkedIn learning courses and all of that, and like that was great in the sense of I found like the myself in the more materialistic worldly way. But for
Mhm.
me, that's backwards to most people. Most people do the like, I'm going to climb the ladder. This doesn't
Right.
feel good. I'm going to deconstruct that and do the spiritual awakening. I did the spiritual awakening and like lived in the woods for a long time and then was like, I got to come out into the world. And then in my early 40s was like, the burnout for me, I stepped away from it all because I was like, these are two different J's. There is the one who's ambitious and the one who's deeply spiritual and like committed to the work. And I need to figure out how to be both these. So it's the same thing. It's just I did it in reverse order.
And how, when you came out of that, how did you feel? Like, what made you say, you know what? I know how to work with both of these. How did that come about for you?
Wow, that what made me say I know. I think I I don't think I said that yet. I think I said I want to know how and I'm committed to
Okay.
knowing how. You know what I mean? Like I am in the process right now of learning how to do those two things. And it's really just now starting to coalesce. And
Okay.
I think part of what happened for me was going through a process of redemption inside in the sense of like
Wow.
we've talked about our country right now, our world, right? We've got 50% and 50%, and they do not see the world the same way. Well, I had the
No.
same thing inside of me. I had half of me that was like, success is being able to take naps in the middle of the day, never have to work, like have
Yeah.
mailbox money coming in that upgrade. And the other part of me is like, success is being on Oprah. Success is New York Times
Right.
best-selling book.
Same thing.
And
Yes.
those two people in me could never be in the same room at the same time, if that makes sense. And what I started to realize was like, I would be this person for a while and I would be this person. And like, I would be this person for 10 years. I'd be this person for 10 years. And then it became like 2 months, 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, 1 week. And so I finally realized like, I actually have to be both these people at one time. And I have to figure out how to get the spiritual minimalist in me to root on the ambitious one in me, and I need to get the ambitious one in me to root on and be a stand for the part of me that wants to see success as having time with my family. And so I am 100% still learning this, but there was like a quality of or an action of internal redemption. Like we're redeeming these
Yes.
two parts. They get to be
Yes.
in the same room at the same time. They
I
have to be in the same room at the same time because everything up until this point has been me getting in my own way.
wow.
One of those parts gets in the way of the other one. when I only let
This
one
is true.
operate.
This is true. I love that. I love that, you said that success is a gray area.
Yeah.
And it truly is. It truly is. And I think that's when I read that, I went, wow, okay. It's not black and white because we do see things in black and white when we're climbing and we're trying to do what we
Hell
do.
yeah.
Especially in my business, it's
Yeah.
finance, helping people, find their happy home because, when you walk into someone's home, it's a canvas of their life, right?
Yeah.
So when you're looking for that, you have to peel that all the way back to be able to, handle that for them.
Yeah.
And they're saying to you, you're my point person. I've sat down with you. Now handle it. Get me what I want
Right.
and I'm going to give you my wish list, Jane. And it's your
Mhm.
job to go out there and find that.
Right. And
So
they need to feel that you've got that drive. They need to feel that
exactly,
you've got the ambition. Yeah.
exactly. And a little part of you are saying, wow, can I please this person?
Yeah.
Can I really make this person happy? Because that's a huge part of their lives,
Yeah.
purchasing that dream home or that investment property that they have all these things in their head about. That's a huge part. And when that emotional intelligence come in, that's where you have to be careful with their reaction to what you deliver and knowing how
Mm,
to deliver that information to them. And that comes along with maturity also,
absolutely.
and being a great listener and having empathy.
Yep.
So and I keep going back to when I read everything, I went, all of this works with my business
Mhm.
and where I am in my life today. And so success is a gray area. And I think as we move along in life, it will always be a gray area. There's never a balance.
Yeah. Right.
So,
That's just
right.
delivered to you like,
That's just something
here.
and I'm a Libra, so there's never any balance.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
scales and they don't, if they're not
Mhm.
balanced, that's what we say, or that's what people tell me. Jane, you're always even keeled. I'm like, no, 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 you don't know this Jane. She's not always even keeled. She's up and she's down and she's all
Yeah.
around and she's trying to figure it out just like everybody else. You
Yeah.
know, the gray area really resonated. And I think that a lot of people, when they do hear that, when you are on social media and
Hmm.
you're, sharing things with people, the light bulb is going to go off
Yeah.
for a lot of people because
Yeah,
I can
because
tell.
I think we have a lot of black and white
Absolutely.
examples. That's what we
And
see. We
that's what we
see
go
this
by.
person did this or this person didn't go anywhere. We don't see the people saying, I have a really mixed feelings about what success means to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I still do. I mean, I think we'll carry that with us until I'm never going to retire, so I don't know about that. I want to ask you something, Jay. What is one thing that women don't talk about a lot and they should?
Hmm.
Or one thing you wish they would talk about more?
Yeah, I think we need to talk more about how much messaging we get that it's our job to make sure other people are comfortable. Be-
Okay.
Because and this is what we've been talking about here, right? Like this over empathy that a lot of us go into the world with can help us get to the places we want to get to externally, but not internally. And I think for me, one of the biggest wake up calls I had was facing that internally, how I have kind of structured my whole life to make sure everyone else is okay. And that that flip side of that is being able to say, I want to be considered. So maybe that's the answer. Like, I want women to talk about how they want to be considered. I want women to talk about that they know that their insides matter and that they're not going to set them aside for anybody else anymore. And like
And
talk
they
about
speak
how
truth.
I'm doing that. What does that look like? And it isn't I'm going to blow shit up.
Right.
It isn't I'm an
You're like me.
but that's how we get there, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the pendulum swing. Take it, take it, take it, take it, take it, blow it up.
Right.
And I want to talk about it's the gray area again. This right? Like it's another gray path of like I want to care for people, but I want to be considered. And because we don't do a lot of gray in our culture,
No, we don't. It's
that
either
was
or, right?
it's either or. It's there's one reality, and either you get to have it or I get to have it, and we're fighting for it.
Absolutely.
And it's not, that's just a false premise. There's, you have your reality, I have my reality, every one of your listeners has their reality. And empathy is how we start to go, well, that's Jane's. I understand you. I get how you'd feel that way. Here's mine. Consider this. Right? Like
Absolutely.
it's relational intelligence.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I just love it. Relational and I'm taking all of this with me. I'm sharing that with you. You will hear me saying these things and
Awesome.
making posts with them. I mean, so what's the one thing that you forgave yourself for throughout your journey? I
Mm,
heard a couple things you talked about.
yeah.
And of course, those you have to forgive yourself for, but that's something, you know, that changed everything. You forgave yourself for it and it changed everything. What's the one thing?
For not valuing myself. I mean, obviously forgiving myself for having the affair was huge, but that was my kablooey. That was my one big burn the house down. But
Right.
the more important thing that I forgave myself was the 1,000 ways a day, a week, a year, over a lifetime that I didn't value myself. Because I'm one of those people who knew, and this is what those clips on my website you referred to, I knew how to value myself if I was alone. I am like the best date for myself.
Oh, totally.
100%. You
Right.
could put me on a desert island for a few years alone, and I'd be like, this is cool. I'm
Yeah.
good. So,
Yeah.
forgiving myself for not knowing how to value myself when other people are around. Because it caused a lot of pain for myself, it caused a lot of pain for other people, but I literally didn't know better. I didn't
Wow.
know better. So that's what I forgave myself for.
That's amazing because we don't know how to value ourselves. Because I don't know if it's because we're women and we're taught to take care of others. We nurture, that's who we are. We have babies, so we bring everybody into the world. So in our mind, we have to take care of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only thing it could be. I mean, where does our value come into play? And of course, if you think about it, our value come into play because we're genuinely teachers,
Mm-hmm.
nurturers. This
Mm-hmm.
is who we are.
Mm-hmm.
No one would exist without us.
True.
So I think we lose ourselves in that.
Yes,
So,
and I think we also have gotten, so there's the general conditioning of you're a woman, you're a nurturer. But I think we've also gotten conditioning through our developing as people who have big feelings, who have internal worlds that are really rich. Like if you're a sensitive person who feels things, who's empathic, that means when you were a little girl, just like me, you had a rich inner world.
right.
And to no fault of our parents because they didn't get taught better, most people don't know how to validate the inner worlds of their children. To say, oh, of course you feel that way. Or what was that like for you? Or I see that you're doing this. Tell me about that.
Exactly.
Like there's a lot of transactional. There's a lot of, you shouldn't feel that way. There's a lot of, we don't have
Yes.
time for that. And again, this isn't because we had bad parents. This is a developmental psychology thing that happens to so many of us. I was going to say it's developmental trauma where there's a lack of internal resonance, right? There's
Hmm.
a lack of, well, gosh, this person who loves me and is caring for me and bringing me into this world as best they can doesn't seem to care about what's going on in my insides. What they care about is how I look, what grades I
Right.
get, how I
Right.
make their friends feel when, like whatever,
Yeah.
like,
All
and
the external bullshit.
that, Jane, is why I think we've gotten into this place of not valuing ourselves. And it happens so young and so so under the radar that's
Right.
why it's so deep in our bones and we can't see it. It's because really we are living out this deep conditioning that our insides don't matter, but what matters is how we make other people feel. What matters is what we do for other people. And I think this is particularly strong for women because of the fact that we haven't been talked out of having feelings in the
Right.
same way
It's
men have,
conditional. It's been conditioned.
but
Right.
we haven't gotten resonance for them either.
Wow.
And so then we have this internal, like, I just like concavity, like it's just empty in there because we're like, oh shit,
Turmoil.
there's all of this happening, but this
Mhm.
isn't what I'm going to get valued for. So I get to figure something else out. And that's the reclaiming. It's not just I'm a woman and I'm a nurturing person. It's I got conditioned to believe that no one's going to care what my insides are like.
Wow. That's true. That's so true because the people that are supposed to teach us, and like I said, we're nurturing, we're teachers, yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but we have to be taught that also before we can distribute that information or even feel that emotion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have kids.
Yeah. Me neither.
Of course, I love kids. I love giving them back too. But, right, right. But it is about understanding that there is a path with that too, to teach young people to value themselves, but you have to be taught that yourself. So it
Yes.
is a condition, and if you're conditioned to the point that you have no understanding of what value means
Mm-hmm.
within a person,
Mm-hmm.
even a child, because no one comes with a manual. Husband, wife, kids, you
Yeah.
have them, you marry them, and next thing you know, you're getting rid of them most of the time.
Yeah.
Hopefully not the kids, but
Yeah.
the partners, because you find out they're the wrong partner for you. They don't have empathy for you. They don't have any understanding of really who you are. It could have been physical, and that was it. Unlike when what you went through when you were younger. I mean, you didn't have a manual. You didn't know any better,
No, I
and
would have
that's
done that differently if I had a manual, Jane.
right. Well, I would have done a few things differently too, by the way, if I had a manual, you know. And with that being said, this is a great segue question. What is the biggest misconception people have of Jay?
Oh, misconception.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm trying. There's the low
And how
hanging
would you
fruit.
take that on if you were faced with that?
Yeah, that someone is seeing me differently than I know I am inside.
Yes.
Dang, this is a good question, and I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to like get past the low hanging fruit answers of it. Like because I could say a misperception. Okay, so I'm going to say it this way. I've never answered this question or thought of it this way.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people see me as very generous. And I don't think that that is untrue, but I think that my generosity oftentimes has come from a place of not wanting to deprive other people,
People
which is
pleasing.
not generosity.
Right.
People pleasing. That's the word for it, yes. And the the deeper psychological truth I know is that I got the message growing up that who I am and what I just needed as a basic person was depriving other people, depriving my parents. I got that deep in my bones. So a lot of my generosity is
Hmm.
really from the conditioning of like, I need to give to you or else I'm taking from you.
Oh, yes.
And so I don't even know what like if that's the misperception, I would like someone to be able to experience me because I'm experiencing myself this way as being someone who has I can't find the language for it, Jane. I can feel it. It's that sense of like
Hmm.
I am going to be giving, but never at my own expense. And you can trust that.
Oh, that's powerful.
That's what I'm leaning into in this
That's
in this
powerful.
next chapter for me.
Yeah, because we do a lot of things at our own expense, and people take it for granted and run with it.
Yeah. and go, oh wow, Jane is such a
I didn't
wonderful
know.
person. Jay is such a yeah, and it's it's um it's not real. It's not bad. Like, it's not like I'm
Mhm.
being a total jerk to someone. So of course someone wouldn't try and talk me out of doing that. Right? It's working for
Absolutely.
them. It's just not working for me. So in that way it's not good.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. And I'm going to answer that question for you with me. I think people's biggest misconception of me is that I'm unapproachable. And
Unapproachable?
yes, when I hear that, I'm always shocked. And I don't know. I say, is it because I'm 6 feet tall and I had big hair at one point,
Are you six
or
feet tall?
I'm 5'11"
Yeah,
basically,
you
but I wear
are.
heels. I wear heels all the time, so I'm like 6'4",
Oh,
and I'm always smiling. I always have this huge smile, and I'm always talking to people. And I'm wondering. I said to myself, you know, is it a look that you have when you're out and about? And I've heard this many, many times. Like people will come up to me if I'm at an event or if I've given an event, and they'll go, "I can't believe I'm talking to you," or "I never thought you would talk to me," or "I didn't think you would pick up your phone." I think, oh my God, first of all, I'm a real estate agent, broker. I need to
we
pick
pick
up
up
my
our
phone. That's where I make my money. And second of all, what do you think about yourself that you think I wouldn't talk to you?
that you wouldn't accept them.
I wouldn't accept you coming in my space to even ask me a question. And I find myself spending time with people at events, and I'm talking to them, and I'll think, oh, I'm being selfish. I got to go over here and talk to this person who has been waiting for quite some time. And I think, how did you get unapproachable from that? You know,
Yeah,
I
I'm trying to take
get
that
that a
in
lot.
because that's again, I just met you, but that wouldn't be my read on you that you're unapproachable. The only thing
Exactly.
I wonder is my read is that you don't suffer fools,
No, I don't. I
and
can't
that
handle that too much.
yeah, and so maybe that's the if someone sees you as unapproachable, they're insecure about their what they're bringing.
Could be.
That it is. It's. I mean, look, you know this. Other people's misperceptions of us are usually more about them than they are about us,
They're
and
projecting,
so
of course.
that would be my read. Is that I see you as a woman who isn't gonna suffer fools, isn't gonna go superficial, and if that's not something that's comfortable for someone else, they're gonna make that about you being unapproachable.
Absolutely. And I tell my mother that all the time. I go, I have no idea why people would ever even think I was unapproachable. I'm silly. I'm laughing all the time. I'm having a good time. I'm hugging and touching
Right.
people. I'm such a toucher, and I'm like, how do they get that? And it has to be that. They're projecting their
Yeah.
insecurity on me, which is a
Yeah.
strange thing. But anyway, that's enough about
Oh, it's
that.
so human though. So
I
human.
know.
And it's funny, you talking about this is making me realize I'm like, oh, the only thing that is missing in this conversation is that we aren't in the same room together. Because I think that would be, we're
Yeah.
both so in our body. I mean, I'm only 5'1", so you would tower over
Well,
me.
that's my mom's height, and I love her. I'm always holding her or have my arm around her, and she's like, "Stop it! You're so tall." I'm like, "Oh."
Well, I would
So
love it. I would love to be able to meet in person one day and get together. A
absolutely,
big
I
old
would.
big
Oh
hug.
God, yeah. I mean, I've met a lot of people lately, and to your conversation about Two Market Media. I think they're wonderful people. I think you made the right decision. I came on board with them almost a year, I think more than a year ago. And I've been all over the place and they stayed with me. That's one thing I can say. They have ridden this wave with me.
Oh,
And
that's
I'm
good to
always
hear.
telling them, thank you for being my therapist, one, and bringing me on and really opening me up to understanding where I want to go
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure. And they kind of broke it down with me. So yes, if I had to say anything, because I did ask them to send me people that I could interview and find out about them, and I was totally sold. But I think you made the right decision.
That
Yeah,
feels really good to hear. Thank you.
yeah. It. And I think if you do exactly what they're saying to do, also with your input, of
Right.
course, and feedback. And one thing I do love is feedback. I want to know, maybe that's my own insecurity, but that's me fact checking
Well, yeah,
myself.
we don't get that. And you and I have the same thing in that we've worked for ourselves our whole life.
Right.
And when you work for yourselves your whole life, you don't get a lot of feedback.
And you need that because even though you believe you're on the right course, going
Yes.
through your journey, you still need to have some type of validation
Yes.
because we don't do this on our own.
No.
And that's another thing, you being a
No.
minimalist and you going off by yourself. And that's one thing about me, always being in self thought and being like,
Hmm.
I can be at home and light some candles and listen to my favorite singer in the whole world right now, Cynthia Erivo, and
Mm.
listen to her, right? I could listen to her all day, all night. But once I come out of that, I'm like, okay, so what happened here? Who can I
Yeah.
call? And I need to talk to someone about what I'm doing and who will understand that. I'm always looking for that person. And I believe I found that in To Market Media. So that's what I'm saying to you. I'm able to ask and share with them my inner thoughts of where I want to go. And you can't do that with everybody.
No.
And it takes a village. So, I can't do, and again, as we were talking about, success is a gray area. You need that support to lift you where you believe you belong.
Yes.
Because I'm not going somewhere where I think I belong. I'm going somewhere where I know I belong. I'm at that point.
Here, right. And I had a very wise friend to me when I first started working with Two Market Media. Was telling her about it. She said, you've been good at what you do for a long time. Like you've been a solid B for a really
Mhm.
long time. And she said, the
Love
crappy thing about
it.
being a solid B is everybody tells you how great you are.
Right.
And in order to get to
Yes,
an
people. Those are the yes people.
and in order to get to it being an A, you need the people who tell you why you aren't great.
Right.
And that's and not to say that they're about breaking me down. I'm just saying they give
No,
really honest feedback in a way that the only feedback I usually get is "you're amazing," which is like
exactly.
great. That's yeah, thanks.
I don't feel amazing.
But like here's where you need more, and like there I'm like a sponge for that. I mean, it's terrifying and I hate it, but I'm also like, give me more.
No, yeah, you're right, Jay. You're right because people like you and myself, and quite a few other ladies I know, and I'm not going to say that's a little insecurity that we have because we don't have that support to give us that feedback because everything that we're putting out there, people think it's different or it's unique and only we can do it. But there's a lot of people out there that are doing it, and are good at it,
Yeah.
and I think to myself, hmm, this podcast, of course, I want it to be successful. Of course, I want women to come to it and hear something that they need to hear, even if it's one, and it turns the light bulb on for them.
Hmm.
So I have to make sure I'm good at that.
Yes.
And who's going to tell me I'm doing it the right way? But my support team. My mom's going to be like, oh, you're great. You look wonderful on camera. I think you need to take your hair out of that ponytail. Maybe they're going to give me all that.
Right.
That's the surface.
Right.
I need the deep.
Yeah.
And I need to know, am I asking the right questions? Am I making an impact?
Yeah.
How are they feeling? What does it look like to you on the outside?
Yeah.
Because I know what it feels like to me on the inside. I'm a nervous wreck before I do any podcast, to be honest with you. And I used to be in the entertainment business. I was an entertainment manager for quite some time. So I watch people that you see on TV today, getting Oscars and Grammys. They were clients. And I watch them and I know who they are before they hit that stage.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
even though we're like, wow,
There's still
I've
people.
seen them a mess before they hit the stage.
Hell yeah.
So I'm the same way,
Yeah.
you know? It might not be on that big scale or that gigantic stage. And maybe one day it will be, but I still want that validation.
Yeah.
And that's just being honest with myself. I still want to hear someone say to me, well, you're not doing this right. Maybe tweak it here, Jane,
Yeah.
and maybe be a little more impactful there. Yes, you hit it. Yes, your website is amazing. You know,
Yeah,
because
it's
some
such an
people look amazing, but once we get there, you're like, well, what the hell was that?
yeah,
That was not who I thought I was going to meet.
right.
So, you
Yeah.
know, and I think you can ask them anything and they'll share with you. They'll, you know, they'll say to you, well, this is what I think you should tweak here and there.
That's what I've found so far, and it's an exciting ride. That's for sure.
Oh, good, good. I'm a year in, so I can tell you I'm feeling really good in my skin with what I'm doing. I'm looking at my business, you know, as far as my real estate business is concerned, and I'm saying to myself, okay, you know, this can really elevate that also when I'm speaking with people
Mm-hmm.
because now I'm more calm. I don't have this chaos in my mind and in
You're
my
more
heart because,
integrated.
right, I took control of that,
Yeah. Did
you know.
you reach out to them, or did they reach out to you?
I think someone told me about them and then they reached out to me, or maybe they went back and said to them, you should reach out to this girl. I
Mm-hmm.
think, or they saw me somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
reached out to me. And a lot of people reach out to me.
Yeah.
A lot. Do you get a lot? A lot of
Yeah.
people reach out when they see you doing things and they see that maybe
Yeah.
this could be a potential client
Yeah.
that
And
we
I
can.
have never paid attention to any one of them except for
Neither
them.
have I. Neither
There
have
was
I.
something qualitatively different about how they even spoke in the first email where I was like, I'll have a conversation. Just like
Yeah,
that. I didn't even think about it.
exactly. And, you know, it wasn't so immediate for me because I was in just, I was all over the place in my head. And I think when I did meet with them the first time, I just kind of spilled it all out. It just like all spilled out. I'm about to unpack my life. I need some help. Blah, 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 blah. You know, I just went on and on and on. It was like gobbly, gobbly coming out. And I had to be authentic about it too. And I said, you know, I can't speak about something that I haven't done. And at that point, I had
Good for
not
you.
unpacked.
Good for you.
And I didn't feel authentic enough to be able to come on, unpack your life
Yeah.
because I hadn't unpacked my life.
No. Good for
And
you.
now I have completely unpacked my life. I have closure. So it's going to only get better.
Yes.
And I'm going to release the authenticity that needs to be there as opposed to holding back. Because when you're not there,
Yeah.
as opposed, you know, the unpacking,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I couldn't be my authentic self because I couldn't tell the story properly. And not that the story has to be told out loud, but we can work around that to get
Yeah.
the message out,
Yeah.
you know, about getting stuck. And I was truly stuck. And to everyone, trust me, I looked uber successful. Inside, I had no success at all.
Mm.
And that was the sad part of me that
Yeah.
I shut down.
Yeah.
And, you know, shutting down is a very hard thing to do for someone like me because I'm out.
Yes.
I'm happy.
It's painful to your soul. And
Oh
that's true
God.
for me too. Yeah.
It was so painful, Jay. Like I went down a dark hole
Yeah.
and I had to fight. I mean, literally fight to get out of it. And I didn't know how I was going to do it. And that was the
Mhm.
scary part because one, you know, when you unpack, there's so many people that are going to be affected by it.
Yeah.
It's not just you. It's the
No.
people around you. It's the
Yeah.
family. It's the friends. It's the husband. It's the, you know, siblings, everybody.
Yeah.
Because one, you're going to show up and they're going to want to, everybody wants to know what the hell happened. And two, you have to answer to everything you just unpacked. You
Yeah.
don't get to walk away freely. So yeah, so that was very interesting for me. And that was, I said to a friend of mine, I said, unpacking my life was the hardest thing I think I ever had to do, but I'm going to get through it.
It's so worth it.
Oh God. I mean, I even look different. I mean, if
Yeah,
you look at
how
me,
could you not?
right, if you look at me 9 months ago, a year ago, I, I look like somebody else to me. And I
Yeah.
look at that, it's so funny. I look at those pictures of all the success and selling this and, selling that and being Jane Bond and showing up like this person. And I look at her and I go, wow, I miss you too. It's a part of me that misses you,
Yeah.
but I don't want to be you anymore.
Or
And
be
so
right. It's like you don't want
I want
to,
to be a different version of you.
or have her be a part of you, but she's not driving the bus anymore.
Oh God.
She doesn't get to drive, but she can
No,
be in the bus.
that's where I'm at. She definitely can be in the bus. And a part of her, I mean, yeah, she has to be because she's the one who learned all of this
Yep.
to get to that
Yeah, but
point.
she's got gifts, but she isn't.
Yeah.
She's not the wise ass Jane Bond
No.
grown up.
And I'll tell you, Jay, I got to the point I couldn't even stand to hear that name because the expectation behind the name
Yeah.
was driving me crazy. And I remember one time my husband said, "Oh, no, you're Jane Bond. You have to show up like this, that, and other thing." And I went, "Well, I don't want to be her.
Right. Right. Then I don't want that.
Yeah, I don't want to be her today. I don't want to be her." And I mean, I
Yeah.
literally can feel that emotion right now. That's
Yeah.
how, yeah, that's how it's still with me
Yeah.
somewhat,
It's real.
you know. Yeah, that emotion was very real. And I did not want to be her. And it took a lot to strip her away
I
and
understand.
bring this person back because this is me. This is the Jane that I like. This is the Jane I, you know, longed for and missed. The happy Jane.
Well, and I love that it's just Jane.
Yeah, it's
It's not
just Jane.
Jane Bond. It's
Oh,
Jane.
thank you. Because the what came behind that, and people still do it because the name is powerful. I get it. And I believe it's that way because they relate it to so many other things.
Mhm.
When they hear Jane Bond, they actually don't hear Jane Bond, I think. I think they hear James Bond and the Superwoman. And yes, I do have a cape, but I damn sure take her off often. She's that cape is only there when she's necessary.
Right.
So that was oof, oof.
Woo!
Right? Can you feel it?
I can totally feel it, and that's what I was saying. Like in just the questions that you sent me, I was like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
can feel it in the questions you sent me.
Yeah.
It
So,
was,
and I think you've answered most of them. I didn't ask you those questions. I
yeah.
asked you other questions, but at the same time you answered those questions within these. Another question. Let's go with another question before
Okay.
we start this.
Okay.
When you needed to escape from reality, where did you go?
Oh, I mean, for me, it was always nature. I just would always get away and be alone. For me, I'm not a escape into television, social media. I'm escape into spirituality, quiet,
Nice.
meditation. Yoga practice used to be really, really important to me. So, like, I guess the escape version of that is spiritual bypassing, if you've heard that word. It's like going so
Nice.
far into all the bullshit, like everything happens for a reason and all of that. Like, that's where I escape to, as opposed to the material world.
Oh, yeah, that world. Oof. That's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah.
So, last question. What does authenticity truly means to you?
Well, I keep using the word integrated, right? And so to me, authenticity is that like integrity. And integrity is the same as integrated. It's like all the parts are whole
Hmm.
and my insides match my outsides. How I feel inside about me is how I express myself. That to me is authenticity. Because authenticity is such a freaking buzzword now, it doesn't mean
Oh,
anything. So I'm so
God.
glad you
Yeah.
asked that. Because there has to be a more felt definition of that. To me, the felt definition is I am all those parts of me are integrated. I've claimed them all. I'm whole. And my insides match my outsides.
Fantastic. That's a great thing to leave us with.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I love that because, you know, thinking from the neck down, is really powerful because we are all in our heads all day long. And it's a scary place to be when you're alone. Right? You're like, what the
I
hell?
don't want to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
way. I don't want to be there. It's like a scary movie sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And it could really affect everything, all of you, your whole
Yeah.
body, even your system, your
Absolutely.
everything. And it can make you sick. And, talking to you today has really lifted my spirits.
Same.
Like I told you when you first came on camera, I was like, hey, so I'm excited that you were on the show. I can't wait to hopefully meet you in person. Where are you? I need to see you. I need to touch your hands.
Yes.
So let me
Yes.
know. Let everybody know where you are. And
Yeah,
trust me, I'm going to drive people to your page, your Instagram page. As soon as you're like ready, let me know because I
It's
need to
on the
talk
way.
about you. Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
need to talk about you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, my website right now is jmoonfields.com. It's just my name. And that will take you to all the other places. I have podcasts coming. I'm so excited about this, a coaching show on YouTube that shows me
Oh,
actually working with people through the process. And then
keep me in tune to that. Oh
I can't
God.
wait. I can't wait. And so, yeah, jmoonfields.com is where people can get connected to me and keep up to date with all the things that are happening. And yeah, that's the best place to start right now.
Oh God. Guys, let me tell you something. You got to follow this lady. You got to tune in, especially when she starts her YouTube. And that show, I'm sure it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see you work with people because I probably will call me, work with me because you're amazing. You're so amazing.
Thank
And
you.
when I say this to you, I am not blowing smoke, up
I
your
feel you.
ass. I'm saying
Feel
to
you.
you, you are the real deal. Just by reading what you have on your website, doing a little research, I believe you are the real deal when it comes to being authentically you and connecting the dots from here to here. And that's so important today. And speaking about empathy and what's going on in the world, we need that because I think we've gotten away from being empathetic to what's happening in this world today. And the divide is so strong. You can't even speak to one another about anything without, having some type of spat because the difference is so
Rupture.
vast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you, Jane. And absolutely, game recognizes game, my dear.
Yes. And I can't wait for your podcast.
Yeah, you're
Please
going to be
let
on
me
it,
know.
by the way.
Oh, immediately. And if it's any way that we can meet, let me know.
Yeah, I live in California, but my folks live in Virginia, so I go out to the East Coast. You're in Philly?
I'm in Philly and I'm in New York. I'm in both places. I
Right.
come back and forth every few days, which is
Let's do
kind of
it.
crazy right now. But I love it because it gives me energy.
Yes. And that's all that
Absolutely.
matters.
Guys, okay.
All right.
You have listened to J Moon Fields. What a powerhouse. I want you to stay tuned. We're going to come to you again next week with another powerful, impactful show of Unpack Your Life and get ready. And we'll see you the next time. You know where to find us, guys, on all the platforms, all social media, Spotify and the rest
Out
of them.
there.
I don't even have to go there. We're out there. Talk to you soon.